Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Subscription Box Basics. This is the episode you've been waiting for. If you're looking for a new strategy to grow your email list, get more subscribers, and get some publicity, street cred, visibility, all those good things, then you're going to love my guest today. Her name is Susie Moore. She's been featured in over 300 media publications like Oprah, Cosmo, Business Insider, even the Today Show. I see her as a friend, a leader, an incredible optimist, and now your new PR coach. So that's why I'm bringing Susie on the podcast today. Okay, I feel like there should be a little drum roll here because I'm about to introduce you to a friend of mine that legitimately was my all-time favorite guest expert when I was running Sparkle Hustle Grow. Please, everybody, welcome Susie Moore to the podcast. Hey, Susie.
Oh, Julie, what a joy to be with you. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to spend any time with you that I can.
Oh, you were so sweet. I featured you in the past in Sparkle Hustle Grow, and we've featured a couple of your books, which are some of my favorites. So this is such a treat. I really am excited for our audience to get to know you. So I want to talk about media, obviously, because that's what the whole topic is here today.
Yes.
And we're going to share a special offer towards the end of the episode, an invitation, if you will, to a special workshop with Susie and I. But let's just dive right into it because the people who are listening to this podcast are new and aspiring subscription box entrepreneurs. And one of the things that is a challenge for them, and oftentimes myself, is growing my email list, getting new subscribers. And so you have these tactics that you've been using that have really helped you grow your email list, grow your business. And so let's talk about that. Big question is like, how do you even get the media to work for you?
Oh my gosh, Julie, I love this topic. I could talk about it for hours because the media has changed my life. I know that it's a tool that is available to anybody who has a story to share, advice to give, knowledge that could be useful to other people. And Julie, I've actually never met anyone, no matter how new they are to business, whether they've been in business for maybe 30 years or if they're just 2 or 3 months in, just setting up their website, etc. I've never met anyone who's got a desire to be seen in a bigger way, who hasn't potentially got 100 or more media stories, media features within them. So the media is hungry for stories from regular people, just like you and me. And if we are willing to show up and be generous, share what it is that we know, tell a bit about our experiences, share what it is that we've learned along the way. Maybe it's, I don't know, recipes, maybe it's to do with parenting, maybe it's to do with finance, maybe it's to do with books, whatever it is. If we're willing to really give our voice a microphone, there are so many media outlets that want us to share what it is that we know with them.
Yeah, and we all have stories, whether we think they're big deals or not.
Yes.
So many of our students here at Subscription Box Basics are creating their business to solve a pain point, like most people, but also from personal experience.
Yes.
And so when you open up and you're willing to share some of that personal experience, whether it is something you went through, or maybe it's your expertise or anything like that, we all have stories within us. Don't you agree?
Oh my gosh. And I have to say, being in the media now for, over a decade, having been featured in hundreds of different media outlets, I can tell you that with a lot of editor and producers now being my friends, they often tell me, especially when they meet people through me, that most people, Julie, have no idea how interesting their stories are.
Right.
Like we discount them so quickly. We're just like, oh, but everyone knows that, or but everyone has a fertility journey, or everyone started a business, or everyone's had this issue at work. And it's simply not true. Like we want to learn from people who are maybe a little bit further ahead than us, or someone who's moved country, or learned a language, or gone through a divorce, or who set up a business from their kitchen table. We want to be inspired. We want to hear from just regular human beings, like people just like us. And when we're willing to share our experiences and we're willing to be seen in a bigger way, I find it so incredibly generous. I mean, haven't you learned, Julie, along the way from other people as you've gone through in life, like whatever it may be, in business stuff, personal stuff, whatever it is? I always find that there have been so many people who will never even know about me, who've inspired me because I've managed to find them. And I know that the number one job of any entrepreneur, of course, is to be wonderful at what we do, but the number one job is to be visible, because we can only serve a few people if only a few people know about us. And you might
Mm,
have the best product or service in the world, but if not many people know about it, you're going to be really limited in terms of the impact you're actually able to make. And I know that we go into business to make an impact, right? So the
right.
media is on your side. It's your friend. It's there to support you. It's just waiting to hear from you,
Yeah.
essentially.
And it reminds me of this lyric in an Avett Brothers song that says, you got to show up if you want to be seen.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to show up. I know you're going to share with us some tactics of easier ways to show up. But the other thing I was thinking about is, I remember when I was brand new at entrepreneurship and I was trying to seek out clients. I was trying to seek out visibility. And I thought to myself, I don't have a rags to riches story. Nobody cares. I don't have a
Mhm.
dramatic story. It's I left corporate America because I had my daughter and I
Mhm.
started a side hustle. But when you think
That's
about it,
fascinating. That's
I know, I
fascinating,
was just
right?
going to say,
Already.
I
Stop right
didn't
there,
know that.
Julie.
I didn't know it at the time, but
Mhm.
that story was inspiring because there was a lot of other women who maybe wanted to do that. And then I
Yeah.
had a background in digital marketing and I had to actually have a friend tell me this. I didn't know this, but she's like, I don't know what you know. I don't know how to do what
Mhm.
you do. So I
Mhm.
need you to teach me. And a couple, like those two moments together made me realize that I do have a story to tell, even if it's not dramatic or rags to riches again. So I
Mhm.
just share that to inspire our listeners that they have
Mhm.
stories as well.
Oh my gosh. I mean, think about that. How many people do you think are stuck in corporate jobs right now that they don't love? And how
Right.
many of them also maybe have children or would like to have children or are in that kind of transitional phase?
Mhm.
Like, we want to hear from Julie. We want to hear from someone who's been there, who's done that, who's taken that leap, who's taken the risk.
Mhm.
What are the three things that you learned? What's one thing that you wish you knew if you had to go back? If you could speak to you or way back when you made the decision, what are some things that you considered? What helped you? What mistakes did you make? You can already
Mhm.
see we have 5 to 6 media features here in terms
Amazing.
of like ready to take to market. I mean, most people, like I said, we skip over our accomplishments. We skip over what it is we've lived through, thinking unless I'm a billionaire or unless I have had lunch with Oprah or unless X, Y, or Z has happened, I've been into space, I'm not interesting. Like, not true. In fact, I can tell you that some of the most successful media features that I've helped craft have been kind of the more humdrum ones, the ones that are the most relatable. In fact, I've
Relatable.
even
Yes.
noticed, yes, I've actually even noticed recently with my students, Julie, that the stories that are more like, right now, here's how I make an extra $900 a month reviewing rock climbing equipment on YouTube. That's more interesting than your Starbucks to seven figures story. Like,
Right.
we want to know, I want to make $900 a month. I rock climb. I can show people the equipment and how I use it. There was this one story that was so interesting. One woman shared that she was, this was her cool side hustle using an existing asset. She lets people with dogs use her backyard so they can just go roll around in the grass with their dog. And she's like, I don't do anything. I just open the gate. They have 2 hours.
Amazing.
And that's fascinating. It's like, I want to know about that. Maybe you have a backyard. You can be inspired by this woman. She's not on the Forbes list yet, right? But
Right.
we want to hear from something that's real, relatable, something that we can just trust, follow, and be inspired by in big and small ways.
Okay. So you're saying that you don't have to have big credentials already for media to want to feature you.
No, you don't need a following. You don't need any type of existing media already. You don't even need a website. When I got started, Julie, I was working in the tech sector in my sweet
Mhm.
little cubicle, and I had nothing, not even a Facebook page set up. A business page. I only had a Gmail account
Yeah.
and a Twitter account. And I
Okay.
just shared an idea. That was it. And it was published in Mind Body Green. It was shared nearly 4,000 times. And that was my very first feature. And as soon as that happened, and I just shared some productivity tips because I
I
was
was going to ask, yeah.
yeah, I was working in a corporate job plus side hustling as a brand new life coach at the weekends and evenings.
Mhm.
And my story was about how to say no, how to say no with grace so that you get your time back. It was called No is
Mhm.
the New Yes. So this was 2014.
Mhm.
And when that was shared nearly 4,000 times, I was like, I am getting a message right now from the universe that this is a big like this is a big way. This is something really solid that you can use to grow your business, because we don't just want to get like a trickle of clients here and
Right.
there, right? I mean, look, that's fine. All business is great business, but
Mhm.
we're not here for it to be a huge struggle. And my mantra, as you can see here, right, is like, let it be easy. So why not tap
Amen.
into huge audiences that want to hear from you? There's appetite, there's thirst. Editors need content, producers need content. Why not just show up and be the content? It's generous for everybody.
I love that. Oh, it's such a good story. You were doing this side hustle
Yes.
and did you just pitch then? You didn't use a publicist, right?
No, no. In fact, I always suggest, well, it's my strong recommendation now
Uh-huh.
that everyone learns how to be their own publicist. Even if you have the budget for a publicist and you have one, you will know how to manage your publicity team or firm well if you know how the process works. And
Mm.
I can tell you this, Julie, a good publicist is a minimum six-figure investment. And
Ouch.
even then, I've had
Yeah.
friends who are like, my book's out, I'm not getting any placements. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And they've already invested six figures. This has happened more than once. It is such a skill to learn that lasts with you. Like it lasts in your life and your business forever.
Mhm.
Once you know how the media works, you have some of your own connections, you're really set up for success in the short and long term. So if you know that the media wants stories, you know how to approach them, you know how to come up
Mhm.
with good ideas, you know how to manage those relationships and then leverage all media that you win, then it just gets easier and easier too
Mhm.
with time. Like I joke a lot, Julie, if there's anything better than the media to grow your business, give you credit and authority, bring you opportunities, put you really out there on the main stage, really bring your expert status level up rapidly, grow your email list. I mean, the
Mhm.
benefits are endless. If there were any other method that did it as swiftly as the media does, I would be
Mhm.
doing it. Like, and I test all the things. I love all the things. I'd be doing it all yesterday. But
Right.
there's a reason I'm so consistent with this one method. It's just because it works. And I think that
Yeah.
more and more people are realizing that slowly, especially with a lot of turbulence in other areas of business growth that we see with the cost of ads, algorithms changing, constantly shifting platforms, etc. I just think the media is so steady. It's not going anywhere. It's got a long history and the time is now. Like I mean, we're already in the second half of 2023. If we want to
Mhm.
rock it, then look, it's
Yeah.
available. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, gift guides are coming out soon, and that is a hot thing for
Oh
subscription
yeah.
boxes. And I
Mhm.
am on team media as well. I've been able to successfully get some great media features for Sparkle Hustle Grow in the past.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what, for coaching, for what I do with now subscription box coaching, having that as kind of street cred, it turns
Mhm.
heads. It helps me book speaking gigs.
Yes.
It helps the new student when they approach us as subscription box basics say, okay, these guys know what they're doing. They clearly have been featured in all these places. So I will tell you this one story. Sparkle Hustle Grow got featured as the best subscription box for the boss babe. This was like 2019, Christmas time, right during the holidays. Our
Amazing.
gift sales tripled that year compared to normal. So it's not just like a pat on the back, like, oh, I put the logo on my website. It actually can translate into sales for a product based business for sure.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny to me, Julie, because people tell me these stories a lot. I actually heard one woman yesterday, she told me that she featured her planner in a guide that she
Mhm.
wrote for, and this is actually in Europe. So she wrote for a European publication. She included her guide, she linked to her guide, and she sold 700 of her planners with one guest post, one
Wow.
media feature. And so this is like money in the bank, right? Like you
Yeah.
said, it's not just pat on the back, getting paid attention. Yeah, it's good for the ego. Nothing wrong with that. But
Right.
what I care a lot about leverage and getting a real return for every ounce of my energy spent, every ounce of like my time spent. And because I also value so much, Julie, time away from work, like time away
Mhm.
from all the business stuff that
Oh,
fills our
yeah.
days. So I think, how can I put the effort just into the right channels that pay me back in a big way? So I'm not just spinning my wheels, right? So I'm
Yeah.
putting stuff out that brings me a return in all the ways, right? Not just in one, not just with email subscribers or not just with sales, but think about it. Why do people, if they're coming out with a book or if they launch a site or any marketing materials, why is it always the media logos that lead?
Yes.
Like, why is it X person has been featured in Fast Company, CNN? Like, why does that always lead? Even if they're making $100 million, the media will always take precedent when it comes to authority. And
Yes.
so why not give yourself the gift of all of the benefits? Give yourself the edge in that way. There's no reason not to. I'm yet to find a single reason someone shouldn't do this. Actually, maybe if you've got a criminal past and you're running and you're on the run from the law, like maybe then don't go for it. But I can't think of any good reason that you wouldn't want to be seen, go bigger, put your work out there in a bigger way, and get all the blessings, the returns, the money, even the access you get to people. I've noticed that
Mhm.
it opens up your circle a lot to the more you're out there and seen, and probably even opportunities you might not even realize you're missing out on can flow to you
Right.
too.
Okay. So our listeners are probably saying, okay, I'm in. So what if you're just starting out? Like you don't have a big fancy website? Like where do you even
Mhm.
begin?
Well, that was just where I was when I got started. I had nothing
Okay.
to link to. I didn't, I mean, I was taking payments in cash back then, Julie. I mean, or
Nice.
check, right? Like that. I was taking cash. I mean, I had nothing. I don't even know if Stripe was around. There was like PayPal. I was seeing clients on Skype. Like you don't have to have anything set up, right?
Mhm.
The only thing that you do need is something that can be of value to an
Mhm.
audience. So that's what an editor or a producer cares about. Does what this person have to say or share, can it bring value to my audience? And it can be anything, right? It can be, maybe you help really picky toddlers, parents of toddlers, help them eat healthier food.
Mhm.
Or maybe you help people with financial literacy, or maybe you help people get organized and declutter, or maybe you help people create a really beautiful home or office environment. Whatever, maybe help people speed read amazing books.
Mhm.
Whatever it is, if you can share a tip, some advice, some knowledge that you have, that someone can read it and take something from that and go, oh, I'm glad I spent 5 minutes with that.
Yes.
That's enough.
So value first, not, you're not like approaching it like a pitch.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the pitch is basically conveying the value that you have to
Yeah,
offer.
true.
That's it. That's all the
You're
pitch is. It's like,
sharing something of value and you're then the expert in that topic.
yes, exactly. So, for example, right now, think about it. We're in summer. I was just workshopping something with someone yesterday who actually works in the travel industry. She helps people plan their travel. I'm like, okay, so what do people need to know now heading into the third month of the summer? Like, what do we need to know? And she just was spitballing all this stuff. And she's like, the US is expensive. Go to Europe, save money. I was like, what? I didn't know any of this. Again, we think that what we know is obvious,
Yes.
right? It's,
Right.
it's, and I was like, okay, wait, there are so many ideas here. So think about it. What can someone take away? Like, what is it that you have to say that could also even be tied into the moment? Maybe it's like Mother's Day. Maybe it's summer. Maybe it is
Yeah,
the
relevant.
holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's back to school. Like what, I mean, there are always so many themes that we, right now, artificial intelligence is a huge theme. Maybe you have an opinion. Like, what is it? You don't have to be some expert or guru. You're just joining a
Mhm.
conversation and adding your
Yeah.
opinion. And
Oh,
that's
I love this.
valuable.
So
Yeah.
we have a special workshop that you and I are hosting together. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that. You guys, you are all invited. It is going to be, mark the calendar for July 20th at 1 p.m. We already have registration open, so go to the show notes to get the link. But listen, if you can't be there live, that's okay. Still register. You can get a limited time replay.
Yes.
And I didn't tell you this yet, Susie, but I have a handful of copies of your book. So I'm going to be
Oh,
giving away some free copies that show up live. So there's a little
yay.
bonus involved. But why don't you tell them about what we're going to be covering?
Oh my gosh. Well, the masterclass itself is called Overnight Rockstar, which is all about really skyrocketing your reputation, getting you noticed, getting you out there in a bigger way, having you share what it is that you have inside of you that's meaningful and helpful to others by my tools that will help you become your own publicist. And look, there is a long way you can go about this, kind of like
Mhm.
I did in the beginning, right? Making a lot of mistakes, kind of following up the wrong way, doing kind of all sorts of odd research that can land you in places that maybe aren't where your ideal audience are.
Mhm.
And not all media is created equal, Julie. So on this masterclass, we're breaking down some of the steps that you need in order to make your media dreams a reality and to make it happen quickly, right? I mean, I love long-term results and I certainly plan for the future, but I also want quick wins. And I know that people who attend this masterclass, who take action, they've had
Mhm.
wins within a week, even less, some people in
Nice.
2 to 3 days. So if you want to go bigger, if you want to grow your email list, if you want to make more sales, if you want to have those cool media logos, if you want to open yourself up to new and exciting possibilities and opportunities, this is definitely the class that you want to be joining us live at. And look, I'm hanging around, right? So you bring your questions, like, let's go, let's workshop, let's
Yes.
brainstorm some ideas together. It's one of my favorite things to do. And Another thing too, Julie, a lot of the feedback that we get on this class is when you start tuning into what the media thinks about content, it benefits content in all areas of your business because you're like, oh, this is what the media love. I should be speaking more like this on social media. I could be connecting
Yeah.
with my audience more on these topics. This is what people care about. It benefits your entire business, even outside of just the amazing direct media wins that already give you so much.
The ripple effect.
Yes, there is such an echo. Look, if you have any desire or tug or curiosity about this topic, then you definitely want to be there and be there live because it's not always the case where you get to join something live and fun where you jam creatively and learn some new things. So
Girl, I rarely do live
I'm
workshops. It is very rare that I do this. So that's why I'm so excited about this for my audience to
me
meet you
too.
in person, to learn from you so they don't have to trudge through all the mistakes and waste their
Mhm.
time and waste even potential money. And time is money
Mhm.
though, too. So
Exactly. Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
I'm really excited about this. I'm going to be there. Renee's going to be there. Susie's going to be there. We're going to be talking about media, and
Mhm.
you all are invited. So if you want some of Susie's best tips, and I'm telling you, this class, I've been through it before. You are going to walk away with actual things you can do. This is not like
Yes.
a fluff workshop. So if you
No.
want in on this workshop, join us live July 20th at 1 p.m., but you got to register in advance first. So that link again is in the show notes. And yes, there will be a replay. That's always the biggest question. Is there going to be a replay? But it's a limited
Yes.
time replay. So this is intended to help you take action. I know for
Mhm.
me, having action steps, but also having deadlines, things like that it
Mhm.
makes me take action. It makes me move forward faster. And
Yes.
so that's what we've got planned. I've got some copies of Susie's books. Let It Be Easy and Stop Checking Your Likes that I'm going to be giving away live at the workshop. And there's going to be some other special things going on. So we can't wait, Susie. I'm so excited.
Julie, I'm excited. Like, bring it on. I wish it were today.
I know, I do too. Well, soon, very soon, my
Very
friend. Well,
soon.
thank you so much. We are very much looking forward to this. And I will see you, Susie, and the rest of you listening on July 20th.
Can't wait. Thank you, Julie, and everybody. Mwah! See you soon.
Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.